Hello Year 8. Today we're going to be looking at creating a digital pop art piece. So we're going to get started. We need to access the internet, and you won't need Photoshop to do this, but if you have got Photoshop it might be a little easier. You can go online and type into the address bar photopea.com, as you can see from the video. Once photopea is loaded, you can go down to New Project, click on New Project. You can give your project a name, which I'm going to call mine Dog. And then we want to work to a blank canvas. So this is really important, the size. So we're going to do this at 100 millimeters, so 10 centimeters squared. Okay, and that's really important because what we're going to do with our image is we're going to divide it into 4. Really important as well to set your DPI to 300 and then hit create, and you'll get this white canvas. Once you've actually got your white canvas, you need to find your image, so you go to open and place. It takes just a few seconds to open up your files from your computer. You can actually access your image. It doesn't show you my computer, but I've got a nice friendly little plug here. So then we're going to click on the selection tool and go to your magic wand or quick selection. So I'm going to go to quick selection, hit the plus sign, so I'm saying to the computer I want to select this particular area. So I'm going to click on it, then the computer says to me, oh, smart object rasterized before, so you hit OK, right click on your layer, convert to a smart object if rasterize isn't there, and then you hit rasterize, and what that does is basically allow you to play around with your image. And then I go back to my plus sign, I click on the French bulldog, and it selects around that area. You might have to drag that over as well. Then you can go down to a layer mask, and what that does is that rectangle with a circle, it basically hides all that white information and just masks off that dog area as well. Okay, so once you've actually masked off your dog, you can then start to sort of play around a little bit with the actual sort of colour of the dog. So I'm going to be using a gradient map. So as you can see, it's just black and white, but if I click this arrow, I've got a range of different colours that I can use, and I kind of like this red, blue and yellow, so just the primary colours. But as you can see, it's affecting the whole lot of layers. So I right click on the gradient map and I click on clipping mask, and what that does, it just links it to the French bulldog portrait layer. Okay, so I'm on that particular layer, and then I can duplicate that layer, and I've got 2 different versions of it. And what you can actually then do is put your French bulldog portrait above, and then I can go to threshold, or as you can see, I'm changing my mind here. As you can see, it doesn't allow loads and loads of sort of different detail. Doesn't allow lots of sort of lines and things like that, and we want to try and generate a good line, so I'm just going to delete that layer. So back to my French bulldog layer, I'm going to go to filter, and then I'm going to go down to filter gallery, hit on filter gallery, and then you get a few options, and what we want is sketch, and we want photocopy. But as you can see, I've done this wrong, so I'm going to have to go back out of this. I'm going to have to go back into my layer. I'm used to Photoshop, so you have to bear with me a minute. And right, that's not right. Here we go. See, photopea takes a little bit of navigating, and you might have to just try and find your way around. So I've clicked the X, I'm back in. So here we go again, let's try it. So what I'm doing here on the left hand side is I've just clicked on the red and the black. So I'm going to select black for my background layer, and that's what I didn't do. So I've got to click OK once I've selected the colour. So as you can see, the top colour is black and the bottom colour is white. Then I'm going to go into my filter, same again, so filter gallery, and then I'm going to go to the photocopy option once it loads. So down to the photocopy, and I'm just going to increase the detail a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting, make that a little bit darker as well. So then I've got lots of lines, lots of different sort of textures going on, and then I can hit OK, and it will hopefully then go onto that layer. Hooray! There we go. Now what we've got to do is got to make it see-through. So we go to blending modes, that's what that normal means, and we're going to go hit multiply. By hitting multiply, as you can see now, we've got nice amount of textures, nice amount of detail actually on those colours as well. So now we want to put a background colour in. So I'm just going to add a new layer, go down to a specific colour. I'm going to choose a nice bright yellow. Then what we're going to do is go to a bucket tool. So I'm going to hit and press down on this gradient tool, and I'm hoping that the bucket tool, there it is, top left. So bucket tool appears once you hold down the key, and I'm just going to drop lots of yellow into the new layer I created just above the background. And it's really important to make sure that you're layering up the actual layers correctly as well. So I've got all of those and I'm happy with that, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save and export this particular image. So I'm going to go export as, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So, and then it's going to open up a file. You want this quality up to 100%. Okay, and then you hit save and it will find somewhere on your computer that you can actually save. So I do save as, and then I can choose whereabouts on my computer I'm going to do that. So I'm doing that, and you just can't see where my files at the moment. Okay, so I'm just saving it as that, and it will come back on, and you'll see that the information will load up at the bottom. So it's saving. So it's now saved on my computer. So finish downloading. I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to save as a PDSD as well. So in fact, no, I didn't. So I'm going to now find that image on my computer. So again, I've just selected a new image. But you can see that I've got dog PSD. So I've got a bit of a problem there with regards to, I don't think photopea like me opening up the same title. So what I have to do is I go and close these options down. So the site, blah blah blah. So I have to resave it, and that's when I save it as a PSD. So I'm getting a bit sort of agitated because I'm recording it at the same time. So save as a PSD. So you can see the file size on a PSD is a lot bigger because it keeps all your file, all your layers as well on the right hand side. And you can open this up in Photoshop. You can open it up on photopea again. So it's saving, and it's saved, and then I just close that, and then I've got my white canvas again. So I went new project, white canvas. So now I'm going to open and place that particular image. So I think I just select the JPEG. So there it is. There's the JPEG as a just a one-off image, and we need to shrink it down now. So instead of trying to pull the corners in, if you go up to W and put 50% in and height 50%, and this is why it's important to know the size of your canvas. Okay, so 50%, not 500%. Whee, there we go. And then hit the tick button on the right hand side, or you can hit enter, and then it will shrink to the correct size that we want. Okay, so here we go. So it didn't do it, so the height's still 87.30. So 50%, hit enter, there we go, and then we can drag it up into this corner. Okay, so I'm going to drag it up now, pull it up into the corner, and the nice easy thing what we can do now is it will, as you can see, it's saying to rasterize again. So there's the rasterize button. So I've rasterized it, so I can play around with it now. I can manipulate it, I can move it into the corner, he says, and I've just turned everything yellow. So let's try again, because you need the move tool, top left hand corner. Pull it up right into the corner until you're happy, and then you can just drop it there. And then what we're going to do, right click on the dog image, duplicate layer. So we've got now a copy, exact copy, and we're going to take that top one and move it over to the right. Now I'm going to duplicate that layer, and I'm going to do the same again, but I'm going to move it to a different corner. So right click, duplicate layer, drag it down, and then we can go right click, duplicate layer, and then we can leave it there, and we're ready to do the next thing, which is the fun part. Now the fun part will involve you selecting each individual layer. You want one layer to remain yellow and then the others to actually sort of change colour. So to do that, what we're going to do is to go down to our half circle, go to hue and saturation, and then it's really important, once you've made your adjustment, that you're actually creating a clipping mask. So right click on your hue and saturation and click on clipping mask, and then you can change the hue, and as you can see, it's actually altering the colour of that particular tile. So again, I've selected a different dog this time, hue and saturation, and again right click on it, make sure you click on clipping mask, and then it will link to that particular tile. And then you can shift the hue, change the colour of that particular tile, and then repeat. So up to the top, hue and saturation, down the bottom on that half circle. Once you've got your hue and saturation, and then right click, clipping mask, and then you can change the colour, and then you've got to sort of play around with it, make sure you're happy with the sort of colours that you want, and then once you've got that in place and you're happy with the colours, you've completed your pop art piece. So by doing that, and then you can go up to File, top left hand corner, and you can save as a JPEG, or export as a JPEG, and then that will save to your computer again. You can also save it as a PSD file, which will allow you to save all of those layers for future alteration or manipulation as well. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and look forward to seeing what you produce.